Depression and drugs became a big part of Brandon Daniels' life early on, according to his defense team.
That is the crux of their argument today for why a jury should not sentence him to death for the 2012 murder of APD officer Jaime Padron. Chris Sadeghi joins us live with more on how they're building that case. Chris?
Shannon, most of the testimony today came from a psychologist who interviewed Daniel for a combined 8 or 9 hours, and he says Daniel opened up to him about when his life started to go off the rails. Dr. Lee Carter said Daniel felt he was headed to a dark place between ages 11 and 13. He was not close to his family. He had very few friends, and he was introverted. He remained that way into adulthood, and drugs were a way to treat himself for feelings of depression. The jury has to determine if Daniel will be a future threat in prison, because if so, that could open the door to the death penalty. But Carter feels that once he is in prison, many of the things that have caused Daniel so many problems will not be an issue.
When he is incarcerated, he won't have access to drugs, at least to the extent he would in the real world. There won't be the girlfriend-boyfriend conflicts.
And for most of this trial, we've heard negative things about Daniel, but coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll show you testimony from someone who said he was a very bright computer programmer, and he helped develop a valuable tool still being used today. That's at 6 o'clock. For now, we're live at the Travis County Justice Complex. Chris Sadeghi, KXAN News.
Chris, thank you. Remember, Travis County juries rarely sentence people to death. Looking in depth, right now there are 274 people on Texas death row. Just 6 of them were convicted here in Travis County. One of those 6 will be leaving death row soon. Kathy Lynn Henderson was sentenced to death in 1995 for killing Brandon Baugh, a 3-month-old baby boy in Pflugerville. But the state's Court of Criminal Appeals overturned that sentence in December. A hearing to set her new trial is scheduled for next month, and prosecutors have said they will not seek the death penalty in her retrial. And a man who killed an Austin police officer holds the record for the longest time on death row. This is David Lee Powell. He was convicted of killing Officer Ralph Ablanedo back in 1978. Powell spent 31 years on Texas death row before his execution 4 years ago.